Yeah, okay. So next matchup. Where's the scene? There it is. So some very long names here for the team names. We've got Boiler Up, Hammer Down, and Flaming Rubber Duckies. Now, Flaming Rubber Duckies we have seen on this stream before. We had him a couple weeks ago, I believe. Not. Well, I guess it would have been the first 4 weeks of the circuit because I didn't hardly cast last week. But I know for a fact we've seen them before. That was an interesting game. Interesting circumstances surrounding that game, but it pulled through it. But Boiler Up, Hammer Down, we have not seen yet. So, some new faces coming onto the stream. But let's take a look at who's on each of these teams. So, Flaming Rubber Duckies, we've got Algae, we've got Shrub, and we've got Optical. And let me blow up these stats so I can actually see them. Now, Shrub seems to be the goal scorer for this team. 1.4 goals per game. And Shrub and Optical putting in a lot of the defensive work with 1.10 saves and 1.15 saves respectively per game. But Algae's and Optical coming up big with the support on offense. 0.8 assists and 0.75 assists per game respectively. So for the Flaming Rubber Duckies, 2.65 goals per game, 2.65 goals per game, 2.85 saves per game, and 1.9 assists per game. Oh, okay, where is it? Now this Algae's team, or I'm sorry, this Flaming Rubber Duckies team is 4-1, so a great start to the circuit for them. Week number 1, they lost to We Heart Dinos 3-1, but that is the only game that they have lost all circuit. They beat RKU Lose week number 2. That was the game that I casted. You can go find that on my YouTube channel if you want to check out the replay of that game. Flaming Rubber Duckies then beat Chaotic Potential 3-2. They beat the Scout Regiment 3-0 and then beat Got Mittens 3-2 earlier this week, actually yesterday on Jonas' stream. And so this is their bye week match. This match against Boiler Up, Hammer Down, waiting until the last week to get it in. But for Boiler Up, Hammer Down, we've got 4 players. We've got Solo Fro, we've got Wasabi, we got JSB024, and we've got Zuku Zero. And Zuku Zero has not played at all this circuit. No stats to show for it. So it's likely that we'll see Solo, Wasabi, and JSB starting tonight. JSB and Wasabi putting in a lot of the goals. Somewhat equal contribution on assists among all 3 of these players. And then JSB certainly coming in with 1.5 saves per game. A huge presence on the defenseman. And Wasabi with over a save per game as well. Very impressive. So it comes out to 2.1 goals per game, 2.85 saves per game, and 1.4 assists per game for Boiler Up, Hammer Down. Now, where does that put them for a record? It puts them at 4-1 as well, right there with Flaming Rubber Duckies. Now, I am going to try to pull up this entire circuit so you can see where they stand on the table. But like I said, Boiler Up, Hammer Down, 4-1. Started off with a 3-2 win over Scout Regiment and then beat the Flying Wet Wipes 3-2 over on Mr. B Epic's stream. And then they beat We Heart Dinos, the only team that the Flaming Rubber Duckies have lost to. Beat them 3-1. And then they beat the Flippin' Pippins 3-0 in week 4. There's a double forfeit between them and Empire Rough Riders last week. So, not sure what happened there, but That ended up being the only loss so far for Boiler Up Hammer Down. So should be an undefeated team, but well, maybe they had the opportunity to at least try to be an undefeated team, but unfortunately that double forfeit causing them problems. But they're gonna look to try to rectify it this week with 5-1 scoreline, potentially, after the end of their series with the Flaming Rubber Duckies. Let's see if I can pull up this. Okay, here's the right. Is it 5? There we go. Yeah, so only 2 spots separating. I'll share my I'll actually share my browser for this. What's up, Solo? How you doing? Just gonna look at the I'm just gonna look at this table for y'all's division, and I'm gonna send out that lobby info. Let's see if I can get my browser share. There we go. So sadly, too many scheduling conflicts, and we couldn't get a daytime to play against each other if we fight it. Yeah, that's tough. So at least y'all tried to get it played, and really unfortunate that y'all couldn't get a time. At least it's your only forfeit as well. So that's nice. It sucks that you couldn't be potentially 5-0, but that kind of stuff happens, and I'm sure it happens to everybody at some point. So, like I said, Flaming Rubber Duckies and Boiler Up Hammer Down, only 2 spots between them. They're separated by Monke, who has already played all 6 of their matches, and they went 4-2. So the winner, by the end of the night, could be jumping up a couple spots as far as 2nd. I don't think they won't jump above Rocket League teams since they're still undefeated. But depending on if the match is a sweep or not, they could potentially jump higher than Got Mittens. So all the way up to 2nd place. And then, of course, that could also shift based on... Well, Got Mittens can't move up any further because they've got all 6 matches played. But those other 4-1 teams could potentially make some stuff happen. I know we've had Got Mittens on stream here. We've had Cheek Clappers before. Minimal Blue we've had on before. Flippin' Pippins. Mad Titans Jashawn. Wait, what? Oh, that's right. I forgot that this was a 3s team. Mad Titans is my org that I'm a part of. I forgot that we had a US West 3s team. I totally forgot that these guys were playing. They never advertised their... Oh, because they had 2... Because they had the 2 forfeits. It's tough. A forfeit win and a forfeit loss. Yeah, that's tough. But these kids are good. Anyways, back to the original thing. We've had... I think I've had Kakarondo on here for his 1s matches. I don't know if I've had him for his 3s yet. RKU lose. I know I've seen them before. I don't know if I've casted for them. But anyways, the winner, certainly a lot of movement to go up to the higher spots of the table. But we could also, with a loss, be back down a couple spots. Now, with 4 wins, playoff spots not really under threat for either of these teams, but you still want to have the best possible seeding to get yourself a favorable matchup. A loss here could bring some of these teams down to 10th or even 11th. Or no, 10th. Because these 3... actually, no. If Flippin' Pippins win, they'll go above Minimal Blue because Minimal Blue's played all 6 games. It's kind of a mess. There's not a whole lot of room to go down just the way that things happen. So, like I said, playoff spots not really under threat, but there's certainly lots of movement above, and that movement will have greater ramifications than a loss. So I've talked about that. I'm gonna send out that match info since we should be ready to get going here. Let's see. So let's see. Let's see. Open up Champions Field. Okay, I thought I was still up. I'll pull up the rosters again real quick and take one last look at the names to expect once we see these players heading onto the field. But shout out to Solo Fro and for Boiler Up Hammer Down for being patient and waiting to delay this series a bit. I know Flaming Rubber Duckies had something come up last minute, couldn't start quite on time, and instead of taking a break in between to try to fix whatever it is they needed to do, just decided to wait a little extra bit. No, not too late out here on the West Coast. So definitely, at least for me, time to be had, but. But keeping an eye on both these teams is going to be very important. With week 6, last week of league play, playoffs obviously start next week. These are two teams that are going to be looking to be in that higher, that upper half of the bracket, trying to go up against as many lower seeds as they can. Now, only 4 teams are going to get knocked out of this division. Only a 20-team division, and even then, there's a lot of there's 4 1 in 4 teams and a team that's 0-5. So there's still some movement. The Flying Wet Wipes have been eliminated since they lost their week 6 match already. Alrighty, let's switch it over to You All Can See Champions Field. As finally, we've got this matchup between Boiler Up, Hammer Down, and Flaming Rubber Duckies, and all that scoreboard info is correct. Got both the teams on there. We've got the right tier and division. We head into game number 1. Division 4 going to be your Diamond 3s and your Diamond 2s in the 3v3 realm. Yes, I am back in California, so yeah. I mean, normally I would have a match starting at like 11 Central, so 9 p.m. our time, but this match just getting started a bit later. But it's all good. Since I'm on the new time schedule, I'm not too worried about it. And back and forth between these two teams as we go past the first minute, game number 1. Shrub trying to push it to the corner, but can't get it past the blue players who continue to come in and attack this ball. Zook trying to get the dribble past a few and not able to get it past the Algae. The Shrub's going to pick it up here, flip it towards the middle, but Wasabi there to intercept. Can't get it on target, but it's going to mean possession for Boiler Up, Hammer Down. Absolutely spend both teams 4-1. It is a big match, like I was talking about before. There's lots of room for movement, especially upwards in this table. If a team were to sweep tonight, it could potentially bring them up to 2nd place in this division. And Algae's going to get it started. Nice little cut inside. And the flick towards the center of the goal. Gets it past Wasabi. I believe that might have been JSB that was flying through as well. The Flaming Rubber Duckies taking the first goal of this series, putting themselves on the front foot. And while neither of these teams have a playoff position under threat, it's always about that fight for the better seeding. And Zuku Zero going to pull it back. That lead for Flaming Rubber Duckies only lasting seconds, for Zuku Zero came up big and got the equalizer. Wasabi with a big kickoff win there as well. Forces Optical onto the back wall. They're going to fall in the air. I don't know if they have enough to get there. They don't. It's on target from Zuku 0, and Algae is going to get the save. JSB continuing to follow. Wasabi gonna track back and slot in behind Zuku. Oh, Optical not able to get that touch, and Shrub and Algae both there in that corner, double committing it a bit. Wasabi to the orange corner. Might be able to get a follow-up, but Zuku 0 also there. Zuku 0 earning that first goal for a Boiler Up, hammer down. Algae's good mechanics there to keep up their speed as they went along the wall, but Wasabi sends it downfield. The conductor from one side of the field to the other. And they're putting Boiler up 2-1 against Flaming Rubber Duckies with 1:41 left in the game. Zuku thought about cutting that and try to keep up the pressure, but decided against it ultimately. Optical trying to get it towards the middle. It's an awkward touch for, I believe that was Wasabi. Shrub towards the net. JSB gets a light touch. Zuku can't make contact. Algae's shot is wide. And JSB gets a good lift pass too. Shrub is able to pick it up now. It's going in front of the blue net, but Wasabi with the clearance. It's out to midfield. Algae taps it down. Zuku tackled by Algae. Wasabi is going to have to clear it out themselves. And touched inside, but Shrub towards the net, almost hitting Algae as they're trying to rotate out, get back onto their half. And it doesn't hit them, and the ball is still making its way onto the orange side. JSB did well to stop it at midfield as they try to chase down Optical for a bump or a demo. Zuku jumped a little bit early for that, so not a whole lot of power behind that clearance. But they do get a bump on Shrub, try to deny any opportunities. The Flaming Rubber Duckies, just seconds left. It's going to take a 0-second goal. Nice slap down there from Boiler, and it's going to hit the ground. And Boiler Up, hammered down, taking game number 1 over Flaming Rubber Duckies. Let's see. So, okay, it did show up. Yeah, there we go. So Solo Fro still stubbing out for Boiler Up. We'll see if they hop into the game. Perhaps in games 3, 4, or perhaps in game 3 and games 4 or 5 if needed. As a heads up for all of you, Rounds of 16 and the quarterfinals are still best of 5s for the IGL. Only best of 7 series come in the semifinals, the semifinals, the grand finals, and the bronze match. That match for 3rd place. Wasabi to the corner. He's going to be hit away by Optical. JSB having to track back, but Shrub gets it. Demo is going to get it behind the defense. At 1-0 now for the Flaming Rubber Duckies. They now off to a good start in game number 2, getting ahead early over Boiler. They hang on and possibly extend this lead. Just be trying to put on early pressure on Shrub. Wasabi, a big touch off the off the sidewall, and that's gonna go crossbar and in. And just like in game number 2, the first lead of the game lasts just seconds. Wasabi, the very quick response for Boiler up. Zuku going to beat out the oncoming Flaming Rubber Duckies defender. Oh, JSB might be able to get a double tap here. They barely can't. Wasabi can't get the follow-up. Zuku trying to make something happen as well. Otto going to keep it in the corner for now. It's out to midfield, and Shrub and JSB both pressuring it. JSB's touch trying to be met by another one of their teammates, and it's going to be sent downfield by Optical. Can they get around it and get the shot on target? They can, restoring the 1-goal lead for Flaming Rubber Duckies. Optical sending it downfield, able to get enough power on it because we had Wasabi and JSB both flying in trying to get blocks. They're very close, but not close enough. Oh, Optical almost slots that in behind Wasabi. A great bicycle save from them, keeping the deficit at 1. JSB can try to counter here. Shrub gets a demo on Wasabi, so limits the options for Boiler up. Alga's continuing to try to get in front of this ball. Optical 50s it with Zuku, and Alga's sending it downfield. So the early lead for Flaming Rubber Duckies only lasting a handful of seconds. The second lead that they've got now lasting obviously for much longer. But maybe that was just the scare that they needed to recognize, hey, we need to shore up this defense a little bit. We need to get it figured out, and we can clearly score goals on this team. We just need to not allow them to barely outscore us. Rubber Duckies backing themselves, I'm sure, to get 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 goals on this team. As long as they don't allow that same number or more, they could be in good hands. Optical trying to get in front of this, and it's going towards the back post. It's off the back post for Zuku. Very close to equalizing. Zuku trying to keep the pressure on. It's off the ceiling now. Alga's in an awkward position. Sends it out to the midfield where JSB was waiting. Shrub is able to get the save away. Wasabi with the back pass. And Optical, good downfield pressure to stop the ball in the blue half. I feel like that is something that we've seen from both of these teams, is that they're not afraid to go pressure downfield. A lot of times, especially in the lower ranks, you might see that hesitancy to dive too deep. into the other half out of fear of whiffing, maybe leaving your teammates exposed at the back. But no such fears for either of these teams. The Shrub with a nice turn to get a save. To hold the lead. They need to only hold it for 40 more seconds. Oh, Zuka gets it past one. Can they get it past Optical? They cannot. Now it's going to go all the way to the opposite end. Algaes puts out the back wall. Optical coming in, and it's wide of the net. Shrub trying to get a shot. It's a great save from Wasabi. Got to put their hands up in order to reach that one. Zuku can't get it past Optical. But like I was saying, I do like from both of these teams that they're not afraid to pressure downfield. Willing to try to trap the other side. Potentially boost out of them or just give them no options but to give up the ball. All right, get rid of this. Ban these people trying to not tap away from it. Trying to tap away from oh, there we go, that works. Ban these bot accounts trying to sell me followers. I don't need bot followers because I've got actual followers. Let's see. All right, there we go. Solo Fro still staying out for Boiler Up. The captain of this team still deciding to take a hands-off approach to this game as we head into game number 3 of Boiler Up, Hammered Down, and Flaming Rubber Duckies tied at 1 apiece. Take a drink of water, my throat is killing me. Important to stay hydrated. It's been a while since I've casted a full day of the matches. But Shrub, you're gonna latch onto Algae's pass off that backboard. That is a very tough angle to score from. It's far away from. It's relatively distant from the net. He's coming in from infield, so his momentum is already taking him away from the goal. But to get the right direction and enough power to reach the net before a defender can, means it has a very good shot from Shrub. But it's going to get an even better one here. Algae's setting them up once again. And Shrub using their wheels to tap it down. A quick 2-0 lead for Flaming Rubber Duckies. Now Boiler Up needs a response. Optical not able to reach that one at the midfield. The JSP is going to track back for this one. Opts against going for the big corner boost. I think that's the right decision. Able to get that challenge in as early as possible. Optical almost gets a couple touches there that send the ball into the net. Very close from them. Try to get it back inside again. That looks like it's on target. And they're going to get it past Zuku, who is in net. Optical, a real knack for getting some of these weird angles. Just touches it off that corner straight into the back of the net. I don't think Zuku was expecting that tight of an angle from on a shot like that. So 3-0 now for Flaming Rubber Duckies. The biggest lead that we've seen all series for either of these teams. The double demo from Boiler Up bought them a little bit of time to try to recover and reset. And they've now successfully transitioned into the orange half. Wasabi pops it up for 2 of them, and it's originally wide. But Zuku's gonna get the goal because Flaming Rubber Duckies puts it into the back of their own net. Zuku's shot falling right onto the hood of Algae. Nothing Algae can do there but just not be right where they were. You can't really blame them for that, so unlucky for Algae and for the Flame Rubber Duckies, but it's a way back in for Boiler Up. Hammer down, but it's going to be Optical who gets us our next goal, restoring that 3-goal lead within seconds. A big miss there from the last defender for Boiler Up. As we now pass the halfway marker for game number 3. Optical trying to find their hat trick with another shot on net. That one not having the right placement or power get past the defense, but going to continue try to extend this lead as far as they can. Oh, oh my goodness! What a play! Shrub infield tried to be blocked by Wasabi. Shrub gets the touch there, I think. And Optical comes in and pushes it into the net. 5-1 for Flaming Rubber Duckies. They're really turning it on now. Optical with the hat trick. Shrub with 2 quick goals in the first minute of this game. A single consolation for Boiler Up at this point. But Flame Rubber Duckies on track for a potential Brazil here. Oh, it's almost denied by JSB. The shot, I believe that went off crossbar and barely out. Would have been a great way to shut down any hopes out of Brazil right there. But alas, that shot did not go in, and any Brazil hopes for Flame Rubber Duckies still alive as we head into the last minute of this game. Zuku tries to get it past the orange defense, but it's saved by Optical. Zuku, awkward air dribble. Does get it past Algae, and it's there for their teammate, but Algae with no boost, continuing to push it downfield. Oh, Optical was ready to latch onto it, but they didn't time the run right. And it's going to stay 5-1 for the time being. This Boiler Up team pushing a little bit too far downfield. You know, it's okay to be aggressive on the opposite half, but you have to make sure that your teammates are spaced out. That all players on the team are spaced out well enough that a single ball downfield doesn't force all of you to immediately have to turn around and be in awkward positions. There are 2 plays in a row right there that for Boiler, all 3 of their players were on the orange half. And a big clear from Flaming Rubber Duckies meant that Boiler Up then had to turn around and completely reset. Not even there wasn't even a chance at reading the clearance and then booming it immediately downfield. They had to either pick it up or send it to the opposite side of the field. So an area of improvement that Boiler could possibly look at as they try to figure out what went wrong in game number 3 and how they can prevent it from happening again, as they look to try to go 5-1 for this circuit if they can continue to come back against Flaming Rubber Duckies. Do we see Solo Fro come in at this point? You know, Flaming Rubber Duckies on match point now. It's now or never for Boiler Up. Flaming Rubber Duckies versus Boiler Up high def. Dang, sadly, I don't even. Well, yeah, too bad it's not a 1080p stream because then it'd really be Boiler Up in high definition. Can we get a Boiler Up in 4K? Can we get that to happen? And it looks like we are gonna have that substitution. Solo Fro gonna come in for Zuku 0. We'll try to stop Flaming Rubber Duckies from taking the series win, but Shrub early goal score yet again. 2 in the first minute in game number 3, and now they've got one in the first 4 seconds of game number 4. Solo Fro gonna pick up this one. Excuse me. But Boiler Up already at a disadvantage, so they really got to make things count now. Never feels good to give up an early lead, especially in a high intensity match like this. Optical looking to try to read this off the backboard. It does stray a little bit too far away from them. Algaes puts it off the backboard. It's a fast play coming from Flaming Rubber Duckies as they try to pounce on Boiler Up's vulnerability. Try to end this series. Try to end this game and the series as early as possible. And Optical, the hat trick. Oh my goodness! That replay made that pass look so good from Algaes. I was looking at it from Algaes' view was one thing, but looking at it from that angle was beautiful. Algaes did so well to get to the ceiling, get the flip reset, and then slam it down into the center of the field. A Flaming Rubber Duckies going to make it 3. Optical and Shrub combining here. Shrub with the easy shot on net. Already vulnerable was Wasabi in the center of the goal. But the pass out wide to Optical pays dividends. They're now up by 3 goals. A minute and 20 seconds in. Flame Rubber Duckies certainly finding their stride in game 3. And they've continued that into game number 4. Oh geez, the pop up to the backboard. Optical is going to be there first. This Flame Rubber Duckies team looking much faster than they started out. They certainly hit their second or third gear here in the series. And it is showing. Flame Rubber Duckies winning a lot more 50s. They're faster to the ball. Overall speed looks very good. They're able to make saves like that because of the amount of speed and momentum that they are carrying. JSB trying to keep this away from the orange defense, send it back inside. They're going to follow it up after Wasabi's touch, but it's going to be pushed away. Chubb going to turn on it. Not a whole lot of boost to work with, so Solo Fro is able to boot it downfield. Algae light tap into the corner where Solo Fro is, and they're able to get a bump on him. A bicycle block as well. But a whiff there is going to allow Shrub to try to do something. A light touch and then the initial fake attempt gets it out to midfield. But the Flame Rubber Duckies still giving the ball away right now. Not entirely comfortable with transitioning into the blue half. This is Boiler's chance to pounce. They have Rubber Duckies giving away possession. Clearly not in the most comfortable state that they've been in, despite the speed that they showed in the first half of the game. A minute 22 left. 3 goals still the quota for Flaming Rubber Duckies. Oh, I'm sorry. Still the quota for Boiler Up, Hammered Down. Or Boiler Up, High Definition. As we saw in the game chat earlier. Now down to 1 minute remaining. A goal every 20 seconds. It's what it's going to take for Boiler Up. They have just not threatened as much as they need to. Algies picks that one up at midfield. Optical, it's off the ceiling, no boost to continue the follow, so Algies are going to have to keep on the blue half at midfield. The solo throw with 32 seconds left. Finds a goal. They still need 2 more. But this could be the start of a last-ditch comeback for Boiler Up, Hammer Down. There's a great shot from Solo. Get their 2 started with no! Solo's touch continues rolling towards the net. Shrub launches it downfield, and I think Solo was probably expecting JSB to get that touch. And so they didn't quite put themselves in the perfect position to get the catch on the ball. And just like that, Boiler Up's hopes of making the comeback in the series stretched to the limit. And Solo Fro is going to get a second one here, but it would require pretty much a pinch kickoff here on this next one in order for there to be enough time to even consider a equalizer in this game. But the kickoff win for Flaming Rubber Duckies. Algies to Optical to end it with a 0-second goal number 5 for Flaming Rubber Duckies, capping off a great performance in games 3 and 4 for Flaming Rubber Duckies. Their first two games not quite looking as dominant from either of these teams, really. But Flaming Rubber Duckies coming out on top. My levels of tomfoolery were through the roof today. GG's to both these teams. Good luck as they go on with the rest of the circuit, heading into playoffs starting on Tuesday. You're very welcome, Algies, for hosting you all. I was glad to be able to finally get another circuit or another series with you all after what happened the previous time. But a round of applause to Boiler Up HD for being good sports and being willing to push back the match almost a half hour. Some teams were very quick to say no, it's got to start now, or it's going to be an FF. But Solo Fro and the rest of their team willing to wait to make sure that we had a fair match happen.